Antaranga Gunatilaka. Mama kemati malvavanda, mahanda.
Yeah. Okay. Can you do that again? And say it a little louder so you can hear a little more clearly.
Oh, mage nama. Sorry.
I hold hands with a lot of singing.
මට හැමෝම කියන්නේ මිමි කියලා ඒත් මගේ නම ලුචියා. මම කැමති පොඩි දේවල් කරන්න ඒත් පුංචි දේවල් මට ආසාවගෙන එනවා. ඒත්
So you said you never listened to your voice before.
Yeah, that's not of my that's not something I do. No, that's correct.
So what do you think?
First of all, since I've moved to this country, I don't get a chance to speak my language very much. So it's kind of nice to hear it.
It's not nice for us too.
Speak again. මට හැමෝම කියන්නේ මිමි කියලා. ඒත් මගේ නම ලුචියා. මම පොඩි දේවල් කරන්න හරි කැමතියි. මම කැමති වගා කරන්න මල්, රෝස් මල්, ලිලි මල්. මම පොඩි දේවල් වලට කැමති වුණාට අහස දිහා බැලුවම මට දැනෙන දේවල්.
Now, okay, great. Now, can you say it in Italian with that same voice? I don't want an Italian voice. I want your voice.
Sì, mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia. La storia mia è breve a te.
Okay,
la seta rica.
Yeah, go on. Sing it. Same voice.
Okay. Sì, mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia. La storia mia è breve, a te la seta ricamo in casa e fuori. Son tranquilla e lieta, e
what we were doing with before when I was working with Yizal. I remember. With the articulation, when I asked you to articulate it silently. Okay, now as a non-native English speaker, okay, or a non-native Italian speaker, not a native Italian speaker, but I understand the same problem. I don't know about what goes on in your language, but I would guess that you dwell on the consonants longer than we do.
Obviously when you're a native speaker of a language, you haven't analyzed it like that, but I do know that when the music that is sung back home, we also sing on consonants. That would explain that perhaps even in our speech we linger on, not all of them, we have the flipped kind of consonants as well as the ones that are relatively emphasized, perhaps even as long as vowels do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to make a suggestion. Okay. This is an exercise. Okay. Can you say the words and let there be air in the consonants?
Si, mi chiamano, si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia. La storia mia è breve.
Okay. So the reason, okay.
Air in the consonants. Did I do that?
Yeah. What I mean is, I don't want you to stop the exhale to make a consonant. So it's going to feel to you like there's air in your voice.
Okay. Let's do it. Si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Oh, that's better. That's better.
La storia mia è breve, a tela o a seta recamo in casa e fuori.
Okay. No, you said to me that you spoke Italian.
I mean, I can, but obviously it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a second language.
Is that the way that you would say it?
No.
How would you say it?
Sì, mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia. La storia mia è breve, a tela o a seta recamo in casa e fuori.
Oh, wait a minute. La storia mia è breve, a tela o a seta. Is that one sentence?
Well, a tela o a seta recamo in casa e fuori.
Yeah, but I want you to say it with this sense. In other words, I want you to say the words for me in sentences, like.
Okay, so forget the music.
Yeah.
Sì, mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia. La storia mia è breve. A tela o a seta, recamo in casa e fuori. Mi piacciono quelle cose che anzi dolce Maria, che parlano d'amor, di primavera. Like that? Like very kind of separate thoughts in a way.
Yeah, like very separate thoughts. Say it again.
Sì, mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Do you hear the sound of your own voice there?
It's different.
Yeah. Can you bring up the volume a little bit?
Sì, mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Now, going back to this articulation exercise, okay? When you articulate silently, how big is your articulation?
Quite small.
Right. So, can you articulate the same way when you sing?
Small.
Well,
Like,
no. The same way that you articulate when you speak. Why would you articulate differently? when you sing.
I see. Okay, we can try that.
Uh-huh.
C.
What is it? Say it first.
C.
Say a line first.
C. C.
No, do it silently. Now focus on your action, okay? Because you can feel how much you're doing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, do it again. Okay, sing it.
Si mi chiamano
But you didn't say it that way. Say it again.
Say it.
Yeah.
Si mi chiamano Mimi.
Now don't change the sound of your voice. Don't change the sound of your
Si mi chiamano
But don't change it as you go up.
Si.
Say it first.
Si mi chiamano
Much better. But you change it there, don't you?
Yes, I feel like there's not enough space.
Oh.
But and when I speak it, the space is smaller
Uh-huh.
than what I would have used if I'm saying an F or F sharp.
Mhm.
So you would like me to keep the same space, is that right?
What, now, go back
I'm
to
sorry.
what the comment I made about working with the breath, with speech. Well, that's what I would work with the breath, and then I would work with the singing. It says, maybe you're trying to put something too big into too small a space.
Yes,
Okay.
that's how at least I perceive it,
Okay.
yes.
Now, what's going to happen though is if the resonating cavity is free, in other words, if you don't try to stuff something too big in there,
Mhm.
it's going to have a different effect outside than it does inside. To you, it's not going to feel all that much different than when you speak. Not all that much, a little bit.
Hmm.
But it's not going to suddenly feel like, "Brr."
So basically
so-
like a flexible, buoyant place that
Well,
the voice usually
but,
stays.
but this is the, see, I'm trying to talk to you in language that isn't singing
Right.
teacher language. And you keep pulling me back to
I'm
singing
sorry.
teacher. No, but I understand, because that's what what I want you to look at is, what are you doing? What are you doing physically? Can you go back to what you're doing? When you articulate like that, si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome, which you know how much you're doing.
Yeah.
Focus on your action, not on the sound, and how am I gonna change the sound to do this and change the sound to do that? The sound will change if you change your action.
Si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome lo sia.
Now that was 100% better, okay? Now, do the same amount that you do when you say it. Say it and then sing it.
Si mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia. Si mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia. Keep going. Say, speak. La storia mia è breve, a te la ho a seta, ricamo in casa e fuori. La storia mia è breve, a te la ho a seta, ricamo in casa e fuori. Son tranquilla e lieta ed è mio svago far giri e rose. Son tranquilla e lieta.
That's way
Yeah,
more.
I felt it.
Yeah, good.
Son tranquilla. Son tranquilla.
Now, I don't care if the vowel is right or wrong, but I want you to sing the same one that you say.
Son
Say it.
Oh, son tranquilla. Tranquilla. Quilla.
Well, focus on the first one. That's where you. Son.
Son. Son
Wait,
tranquilla.
you change it.
Son. Son tranquilla. Lieto, ed mio svago
Okay, so this is a trick, but this is for the people in the audience, okay? Listen. Now, I want you to talk to me, okay? How much would you use to talk to me?
Mi piacciono quelle cose che anzi dolci
Okay,
I'm trying to sing like there almost.
yeah.
Is that kind of what you wanted me to
What's the difference in her voice when she does that? Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. All right, so this is an.
It sounds like your real voice.
I think it is a real voice because it's not how I speak, I suppose.
It's a, like I said, it's not the end, it's the beginning, okay? So, another part of the cognitive illusion thing is that as human beings, we are prey animals. So, no, seriously, our eyes are here because we hunt, grab, whatever. But, so therefore, we think that reality is here. And so, when you're on a stage, if you think that this is reality, you also tend to project. But if you change your focus, and there are various different ways to get people to do this. We're going to do another one momentarily. If you change the focus of your thinking, you get away from some of that. It's actually a narrowing of focus. You get away from some of that, and your voice responds. So this is when I was saying in the beginning, can you say it where you are? Can you say it in this trajectory? These are all things to try to get the person to be seated in the space that they're occupying and not trying to do something out there in outer space, because actually it's not possible. It's a physical impossibility. Are you a singer?
No, pianist.
Oh. No, you can't look at, I want you to look at both of them equally. You can't do that unless you get them a certain distance apart. Now you just keep focused straight ahead, and when you can see both of them, you'll start to use your peripheral vision. Go a little further apart. Go a little further apart. Little
I
further.
can, yeah.
You
I
can
can-
still,
I
yeah.
can see them both.
Keep looking at them, yeah. Go a little further apart. Right, even further apart. Even further apart. Okay, now say the words.
Sì, mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Can you raise the volume a little bit?
Sì, mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Do you perceive your voice, keep focused on your two fingers. Do you perceive your voice differently when you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you stay with that when you sing?
Sì, mi chiamano Mimì, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
Good. Now stay there, okay? okay? Not too, that's way more than you do when you say it.
Yes.
I want the same amount. Say it again.
Si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome Lucia.
No, no more, no less.
Si
There you go.
mi chiamano
Good. Now, very good. Now you heard her voice. Now you really heard her voice. So now I'm not. I know this sounds like a contradiction when I keep telling you less, less, less. I'm not asking you to sing piano. I'm not asking you to sing softly. I'm asking you less, to not
Right.
throw it out there.
I was a bit confused when you said when I was speaking, you said, can you bring up the volume? Then I felt like I was doing more than I would naturally do. And then when I would sing, in that sense, it was too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I had to go back to like, when you kind of liked it, it seemed like my soft speaking voice.
But you know, here's the problem with doing a master class in front of people. The point isn't for me to like it. The point is for you to get it.
I understand.
Yeah. So, because I liked it when you opened your mouth for the first time.
Okay.
But it's not
My optimal.
your optimal, yeah.
Individual.
And you know, the only thing that you have that no one else has is your color voice. Nobody else has your voice. It's impossible. It's one of the 3 ways of identifying people biometrically. The irises, the eyes, the fingerprints, and a voice print. So let's have the real thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I want you to go back to I'll let you do it up until the first high part again. But I want you to, I know it's difficult, but you can express something with your eyes and keep your peripheral vision going at the same time. You can even actually look at somebody.
Si mi chiamano Sunt tranquilla different way, different
Yeah.
emotion to what I was used to. Yeah.
It's going to start to get very emotional. The more you connect with actually, you get that other stuff out of the way and you start to connect with what you're actually saying. You can't connect with what you're saying when you're going, "Rah." It's just impossible. But what I'd really like you to do is I'd like you to try the high part with a normal articulation.
Oh, I don't even recall
Mi
what I did.
piacciono quelle cose.
Mi piacciono quelle cose che anzitutto in Maria che
Okay, good, good, good. You still, okay. I know it's going to sound flat and weird to you,
Yeah.
okay? Do it anyway.
Was that in the right direction?
Yes,
Okay.
but you're still
Yeah.
fixing it up there. No, from Mi piacciono quelle cose. Mi piacciono.
Mi piacciono quelle cose che anzitutto in Maria che It's completely in a new place now, but
It's much, much better. Much better.
Fundamentals too high.
Excuse me?
The fundamental is too high.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But I try to stay away from that kind of language. Yeah. Well, what this lady just said.
I'm sorry, I
you know,
didn't even hear it. I'm sorry.
She said the fundamental is too high. What
I'm
we're
not
talking
sure
about,
what that means.
we're talking about overtones and things like that.
Oh, I see what.
So when I say to you, keep, can you let it be the same as it is in your speaking voice? That's a way to trick you into, you heard it with Yuzel. She did it 3 or 4 times, where I tricked her into singing with the same voice that she speaks with when she speaks
Yeah.
slightly differently, okay? And if you can sing with that, and actually I've got another scientific article about that, but I didn't bring it with me. The most pleasing sounds to the human ear are the sounds that are in the range of the speaking voice. But that's the problem with singing like a generic. Everybody's singing with a lot of false resonance. The problem is they all sound the same. Because in order to do that, you have to mask the actual color of your voice. So what I'm asking you to do is to keep matching what you think is your speaking voice, and that way as you go up, you won't have to go "Rah." And it might feel like it's more slender, it might, but it doesn't sound like that from out here. You want to try it one more time?
Sure.
Before you start, go back to what am I saying and why am I saying it?
Mi piacciono quelle.
Say it first.
Mi piacciono quelle cose.
No, don't you dare sing because that isn't what you...
Mi,
That's it, yes!
mi piacciono quelle cose che anzitutto in Maria che parlano d'amore.
Well, you tell me.
It felt really strange. Because
What is your intention? Stop working from I feel like that. What is your intention and what are you thinking? That's what's going to make the change.
sorry.
It's okay. It's good. You want to do it one more time and that's it.
All right.
So that now it means you got to get the tiger by the tail there. You have to go. I'm going to do this, and do it, and don't be tempted by I don't know. I think that. And yet, one other thing, the most important thing is what are you saying? So don't get into like some trip.
Right.
You have to stay present with what you're saying. You can't close your eyes, roll them back in your head and be in another world. Your eyes are the gateway to everything that you express.
Mi piacciono quelle cose.
Say it again. Say it again.
Mi piacciono quelle cose.
Okay, that's what you're going to match.
Mi piacciono quelle cose che anzi dolce Maria che parlano hopefully I'll get it eventually at some point.
You got it right now.
Okay.
But kind of now it's getting more obvious, right? Yeah. So at this point, I have to be wise and stop because I want her to get it. Do you understand what I mean? But the way that neuroplasticity works is that you can only go up to a certain point and you're not going to get past that point tonight. So that's a win for her. She's not going to be able to do the same thing. That she's tasted it, it's made the connection too many times. Now there's a lot of other things going on at the same time. But so when you ask me what I do next, it all depends on how those connections get made for the individual person. But the basic thing is to get them to speak with their real voice, no matter what language they speak, and to then when they go to sing, to use that as the thing that they're trying to, I hate to say match, but it is a kind of a match. They tune to it, to have them tune to that.